Hey guys, Fishmonger here. I got a couple of questions from some people on some forums like Reddit and some other places I post about one of my budget rigs that I made, which is my GTX 1050 rig. So I figured I'd go into a little bit more detail about the bill of material and the components I used, the prices I paid, my hash rates, basically try to answer some of those questions that you guys had. So up on the screen right now, you see the rig itself, which is basically the five times GTX 1050. These are the Gigabyte dual fans, dual fan 2 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte brand GTX 1050s. In the wood frame that I made, and basically you can see up here is my power supply. The motherboard's mounted here, and pretty much everything else. Um, Originally, it's funny. This rig was meant to sit that way, but to save space, I actually have it stand up, and it works out quite well. I kind of like it standing up like that. In fact, I don't know why people don't make more stand up rigs. I think they look good, so I might look into that at some point. So up on the screen here, we've got a couple things. Basically, this is on the left is a spreadsheet that shows all the components that I have and the prices I paid. Basically, it also shows my total cost, the total power, the hash rate, and then approximately what I'd be earning back on this rig based on the numbers from when I originally calculated on the 28th to the numbers that I'm currently seeing now on the 9th. And let me tell you, it was a little bit of a roller coaster between here and here because it kind of dipped down and came back up, but we're about where I was before when I started making this. So the to jump into things, the motherboard I used, and we'll go into that first, is actually a Gigabyte GA F2A55-DS3. Got it for $41.92 with shipping. Bought it on eBay, and this is the motherboard here. The one I bought was actually it was the same seller, but it was revision 1. This is revision 2. Revision 2 motherboard basically has compatibility for a higher clocked memory. It's like 1866 versus 1600 DDR3. And it's got a different color. It's brown instead of blue, but that's pretty much it. All the base, the structure of the motherboard itself stays the same. So notably, it's got 5 times PCI slots. 4 of them are PCIe times one of them is a times 16. It's got a slot for I think it's an AMD, it's the FPU processor, I think they call it, which is the one I bought, which is the AM4 5300. I'll show you in a second. It's got 6 times SATA ports, dual channel memory. Quite honestly, this is actually a better motherboard than the one that's in my personal computer. So go figure. But the 5 slots, a little bit of a compromise. I know a lot of people are running 6 GPU systems, but 5 GPUs for me for the price I paid for $40 for the motherboard, absolutely no problems whatsoever. I like this motherboard. It was good. It's a good purchase, and it mates well with this processor. I got here for $15. AMD A4 5300. It's basically a dual thread, single core, I think, or dual core, dual thread processor with integrated graphics. That's on the FM2 platform. And the nice thing about it with the integrated graphics is you can remote desktop into your rig and you can basically work on your rig while it's hashing. And since the video is being displayed through the CPU, it doesn't affect your hash rate. One of my other computers, when I remote desktop into it, because it doesn't have integrated video, it's actually doing the output video from one of the video cards that it's hashing from. It starts to lower its hash rate by like 40 or 50%, or maybe like 30 or 40%. But either way, it's like I have to be quick when I'm on that because otherwise I'm taking away from my power. And it's also a little bit more sluggish because of that too. This is a pretty quick responsive system, which is nice. If you want to take a look at the heatsink I bought, under $10, this generic AVC branded heatsink works great, keeps my processor cool, can't complain. I ended up getting 8 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, just generic stuff, kind of on the slower side. And I got 8 gig because I was building 2 rigs, 4 gig, and I put 4 gigabyte in each one. So each rig ended up having $12.50 of memory. I split the price between the two of them. DDR4 is just expensive as hell, man. I mean, you show me anywhere you can get DDR4 4 gigabyte for $12.50, and I'll buy a DDR4 motherboard right now. But for mining, DDR3 is plenty, and the processors and everything that go with it along are plenty too. So the price per performance is perfectly fine. Saved a heck of a lot of money on this. Power supply I got is a Corsair CX650M, which is basically 650 watt, 80 plus bronze certified power supply. It's actually funny. The plugs that I have on mine don't look like this. They're not arranged like that. But it's a great power supply. 650 watts. You know, I estimated my power to be about 400 watts on this rig. So for it to be about a 650 watt power supply for total, 400 watts is kind of like around the sweet spot for where you want to be, because you don't want to pull too much power from these because they become less efficient. You know, you want to be a little bit ahead with your power supply, but you know, definitely if you do buy a power supply, get one that's, you know, more than you need, and get one from a name brand. Don't chintz on a power supply. It is absolutely not worth it. I didn't pay 60. I actually paid 47 because I got mine refurbed from Newegg, but it came with the Newegg guarantee and their warranty and all that stuff, so I have zero concerns about any issues it might have. Plus, they had like really good reviews on the refurbs. A lot of refurbs on Newegg I find are actually pretty good deals, so I'm quite happy and content with that. The rig itself, if we pop into it here, you can see I'm actually currently mining on Nicehash. I don't usually do this, but I'm doing comparisons on different pools, and I've been keeping track of that in a spreadsheet. And like I usually mine for about 20 to 24 hours, and then I swap pools. I mine for about 24 hours. I swap pools like every day, and I'm keeping track of everything in a spreadsheet because I'm trying to just get a rough idea of what is really the most efficient and what's basically the best bang for the buck for when it comes to mining. But you can see here these cards running at, and they're all locked right now as far as all their settings go, so they're all dialed into the same thing. Not running any voltage over. I got 80% power limit. 175 in the clock, 150 in the memory. I could probably go higher, but I'm happy with where I'm at. You know, I don't want to push these things until they're up against the wall, so I'm okay with this. I mean, I'm averaging about 776 souls, you know, for the 5 cards, and they're pushing a little bit over 150 each, so that's all right. I mean, I only paid like 130 a pop for the cards. You can see that here. These are they're the Gigabyte branded 2 gigabyte GTX 1050s with the dual fan design, and they're the non-OC models, I think. But they run cool. They run good. I cannot complain about these cards. You know, certainly are they the most powerful thing? No, but they were available because back when I was building this rig, you could hardly find anything in stock. And they were selling them on Amazon. They were selling them on eBay. They were selling them on Newegg. So I was able to acquire them from multiple sources without having to worry about really running into that, you know, one per customer limit. Because, you know, they say one per customer, but really they mean you can only buy one at a time. Because if you buy one from Amazon and then one from Newegg and then one from eBay, well, Amazon obviously is separate, but if you buy from Newegg directly and then buy from Newegg through Amazon, I'm sorry, through eBay, because Newegg sells on eBay, they don't care. They'll ship it to you regardless of whether or not you buy them within a minute of each other. So that one per customer thing really means nothing. All it means is they ship it to you in 2 boxes, which is silly, but that's, you know, ridiculous. But these cards are good, so I'm fine with that. Oh, and then I had to factor in the cost of the wood frame. It was about $10 a wood. $10 a wood at the Home Depot. It was just a standard cheapo board. It was like $2 or $3 a pop. I bought 5 of them, but actually, to be honest, the wood itself was only about $3 or $5 for the cost of wood to build the frame. The other $5 was for like the screws and whatnot, and other miscellaneous hardware and stuff I had to buy. So all in all, assembling it was like $10 in materials. It like really wasn't that much. So this rig itself, like I said, you know, I'm earning about 110 a month on the rig, and that's, I think, about right on a rough estimate. Because if I look at my my rig here on Nicehash, well, this is both rigs, right now because I have a second rig which is a little bit more powerful. But this is average. This is estimating altogether with my two rigs. I'll be about 1032 a day. Oh, you know what? You can see, where is it? Yeah, this is the rig here. So basically, there's my 5 cards. It's not telling me the individual hashes on these. I don't know why. Where's my second rig? Why is that not showing up? Ooh, interesting. Let's take a look at that. But but between the two rigs, all in all, right now on Nicehash, it's saying I'm gonna get about 1032 a day or about $294 a month. I am keeping track of this, like I said. So on where is it here? I'm running a test right now on Nicehash, and it basically said that well, here we can do this real quick together. Why not? I'll show you this real fast. We can do a separate video on this, but let's do a rough estimate here. So I'm at, let's say, $6.12 for an unpaid balance right now. And it is 11:02 at night. So I'm just going to say 11:02 p.m. And basically what this is calculating here is that in about a 13.5-hour duration so far that I've been running this test, I have earned approximately $8.48 a day before electric. And if you factor out a 24-hour electric cost of $1.37 for the 715 watts for both rigs, it is basically going to profit approximately, I'm estimating here, $7.11 a day. So their estimation of 1032, maybe a little high. Quite honestly, I'm gonna have to let this roll a while to see how this works out, because if you know anything about Nicehash, the numbers they give you tend to jump around a lot. It takes a while to stabilize. 13 hours of mining is not a long period of time. So I should really let this sit for a little bit and kind of see how this works out. But I'll do another video at some point later to kind of show you this, because this is interesting. I do keep track of different pools and then how effective they are, basically my payouts and everything like that. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to mine and what makes me the most money. So I'll save that for a different video. Until then, this is Fishmonger. I'm going to sign out. I'll catch you on the flip side.